Yes, good afternoon, students. Today's objective is to examine the model of circular flow and products that contain 5 sectors: households, firms, government, rest of the world, and the financial system. Now, the purpose of the circular flow diagram is to demonstrate total expenditure and total money flows in the economy. Now, how does the circular flow diagram demonstrate total expenditure and money flow in the economy? First, when firms or businesses want to produce a good or service, they need factors of production. And the owners or suppliers of the factors of production are households. And when households are willing and able to sell their factor services or resources, such as labor, land, capital, and entrepreneurial ability, they make it available to the firms so that the firms can produce the goods and services they want to produce. And households then receive payments. Households then receive payments from firms in form of wages, interest, rent, and profit. And then the households then spend the income that they receive from the firms. They spend it on goods and services produced and owned by the firms. Now, it is very important to note here that the payment households receive for their factor services is also total income. So, in other words, we can measure GDP by the total income received by households. And we can also measure GDP by the total spending on goods and services undertaken by households, and also by the rest of the world. Okay, so the goods produced by domestic firms are purchased not only by domestic households, they are also purchased by foreign households. And as you can see here, expenditure by domestic households, expenditures by domestic households on imports. So domestic households buy foreign goods from the rest of the world, and the rest of the world also spends their income on our exports. Okay, as you can see here through the arrow. Now, the government, where does the government come in here? The government uses resources owned by households and pays households wages, interest, and transfer payments, and in return, households pay government taxes. Similarly, government also spends on goods and services produced by firms, and in return, firms pay taxes to the government. Now, households do receive income in form of wages, interest, rent, and profit from firms. Some of that income households spend on goods produced by firms. Some of that income households spend on goods produced by domestic firms. and some of that income households spend on goods produced by the rest of the world or by foreign firms, which is expenditure by domestic households on imports. And some of that income households do save in the bank, or they buy stock, or they buy bonds with the income that they do not spend. So now this saving by households in banks, purchase of stocks and bonds, is in the financial system. And the financial system consists of the banks, the stock market, and the bond market. And the government does borrow money from the financial system, and firms also borrow money from the financial system. Also borrow money from the financial system. So you can see here that the government borrows money from the financial system. Okay. Okay. So and firms also borrow money from the financial system. And the ability of the government and the firms to borrow money from the financial system depend on the savings of both domestic households and foreign households. And in order for an economy to sustain continuous economic growth, they must have a viable financial system. Thank you.